Good morning, good afternoon. So I will share my screen. So my name is Mata Caravaca, and together with Francesca Magnoni, we are going to update on Team CU05 that deals with the role of AI in identifying or reconstituting archival aggregations of digital records and enriching metadata schemas. And in particular, we are going to present the update of phase 2 of this project that focus on information framework for documenting CU05 case studies. The lead researchers of this team are Stefano Allegrezza and Mariela Huercho. So just for contextual info, the goal of the first phase of the project was to investigate the ability of AI to support the creation or recreation of archival aggregations to address the issue of non-aggregated, unarranged, or decontextualized records, both in the current and semi-current phases. And the aim was to answer the question, which AI technologies could be useful for the automatic or semi-automatic classification, filing, indexing of records, and integration of metadata. So we carried out a survey to AI companies. We had 13 replies, and the survey methodology and outcomes are available in the Interpares Trust AI website in the public section. So currently, we are carrying out the second phase of this project. And the aim is to focus on testing the AI solutions that we surveyed. So testing them with record series belonging to institutions participating as case studies. So especially what we are testing is AI technology solutions for records classification and metadata enrichment. So one of the case studies is the NATO one, so the NATO archives. They have provided a series of declassified committee records from the 50s to the 90s. They are all scanned and OCR in PDF formats. And the company that is providing the technology for this case study is RecordPoint from Australia. RecordPoint has made available its platform called Records 365. Another case study is the one on CISU, that is the Italian Center for UFO Studies. However, this case study was discontinued in August 2024. The AI technology company that was ANSYS from Norway withdrew because of they were saying that they had an upcoming emergency in the company, so they couldn't continue. And a third case study is still under definition in cooperation with Regione Emilia-Romagna. So in parallel to testing the AI solutions, we felt the need to document the process and methodology used in AI implementation. So we created a subgroup composed by Stefano Allegrezza, me, Massimiliano Grandi, Mariela Huercho, Bruna Lasorda, Francesca Magnoni, with the support of Luis Casellas, that was part of the AA01 that also dealt with paradata. We also started collaboration with the team preserving AI techniques as paradata, so RP04. And currently what we have done is literature review on paradata and additional information elements. So we have reviewed over 25 bibliographic references. We have defined a draft framework based on the Interpares project on paradata integrated with IPEL 2024 standard. IPEL 2 stands for Information Preparation to Enable Long-Term Use, recommended practice that has been developed by the Consultative Committee for a Space Data System. So it's based on OIS and it's about to become an ISO standard. And it has been developed to document complex processes, complex tools, responsibilities, etc. So within the framework, the information framework, we have also identified specific requirements and detailed information. And we are currently testing the framework with the NATO case study. The next steps will be to meet with Record Point for a joint analysis and testing of the framework. We would like to discuss the framework with the Interpares project group on paradata. Finally, we will define the final version of the framework, and after that, produce a report on the outcomes. So this is the information framework for documenting AI projects. And as you see, it is based on the analysis carried out by the Interpares AI group on paradata, especially the machine learning lifecycle, which encompasses the process activities involved in developing and deploying AI models, such as you may read, identification and preparation of data sets, producing AI model, training the AI model with data sets prepared, evaluating AI model performance, implementing the AI model, improving the AI model with new data, and monitoring operations. The other columns are based on the phases of data collection. This is based on IPEL 2. So the stages of complex projects that generate critical information throughout the activities involved in implementing AI. And these phases are activity initiation and planning. So establishing the project's objectives, timelines, and requirements. Another one is the activity executing, so carrying out the activities involved in developing and deploying the project. And the third one is activity closing, so concluding the project once all requirements, phases, or contractual obligations have been completed. This is a section of the information framework. As you may see, the cells in the framework have been populated with possible categories of information elements. These are based on the following resources: IPEL 2, MOREC, the literature concerning the paradata with a specific attention to the articles written by Scott Cameron, Babak Hamid Sadeh, Patricia Franks, Jeremy David, and Jenny Boom. And also the professional knowledge derived from the expertise of the members of our team. No? So we have identified main categories. It is still not a granular list of information elements. because we are trying to test this framework with our case studies and discuss among the inter-pares community. And now I pass the floor to Francesca. Do I maintain the...
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, good morning. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what is going on with Record Point and Inter-Pares. So here in this slide, you can see kind of a summary of the deliverables that we discussed with the software, with the company, and that we are actually still working on. Because I think the company went on, they had a reorganization in the last few months, and it looks like now they are aiming and doing more work for us or with us. So again, case study deliverables. First point. So what we wanted to test is if the application is able to aggregate the digitized documents according to clusters, such as, for example, series. And this is this work we have done. So this part has been completed. And we are going to discuss about it in the documentation phase shortly. Point 2, this regards metadata enhancement. So here we have some. We would like to identify and better understand the problems that the software has with personal identifier information. Because there are several false negatives. And we are expecting more in the outputs while about personal name identification. So Record Point in this case is using a Microsoft package to detect personal identifier information using a combination of pattern matching and machine learning. And they are trying to figure if there is some calibration that they can do to limit the false positives. And they've seen that this is pretty bad with NATO data compared with other data sets that they've been testing. And so, well, one of the question can be since the data set that they use, that has been used for the training was very different from these historical records, maybe this is also the reason for those failures. But this is to be investigated. And we have no documentation on this phase at the moment. Point 3, so the application performs text summarization on selected items and or a series of documents. And here, how does it work? So if the text is less than 100 characters, it summarizes in one paragraph. If it is longer, it goes to ChatGPT that makes the summary. And then, if the text is in French, because half of our records are in French, first it translates and then it summarizes. So the exercise was run on 3 records only, because of the cost of doing that at a scale. So archives should keep this in mind if considering text summarization to support archival descriptions. And the limitations are also evident on the outputs itself. So to improve the outputs of this kind of tools, more detailed instructions on the outputs should be prompted. So, for example, identify the author, the action, the object. We don't have a specific documentation on this step either, because again, it's a ChatGPT, except from the sample results that are gonna be provided in our reports. So we will give you the summary and the correspondent record. Point 4, this is to come. So, and this is about the semantic tagging. So, given a list of vocabulary control terms and a given set of records, can those documents be indexed against those terms? So we say, for example, we have a list of NATO public terms in the form on an Excel sheet and a given records. So what's the output? Record point can now index records against custom tags. And the challenge is how complex is to determine the tags. And this feature was actually not ready when we began the case study, but it is now. So this is something we're going to test. But the problem is when there is a more complex logic. So at the beginning, we wanted to test if this kind of application could identify, for example, national records. We have several records coming from embassies, say Italian records, Canadian records. But at the time, it was not possible to go on with this test. Let's see now what we can do. And also the company is going to show us the new AI governance module that has been just been implemented. So in March, we are also going to discuss about that. So next slide, please. And then we come to the documentation. So what we can document and how can we do that? So first, who can do that? So can we define the roles? Who does what in a way? So what is in the users or in the institution's hands, and in this case in the archive's hands? And what instead should come from the software company, and what is also realistic to get? If we think about the current project, the current case study, points 2 and 3 from the slide before involve the use of Microsoft products, which means very little documentation available. So what we could do here is trying to document the point 1. Next, please. And here we have a table with the information gathered from the project. So again, this only refers to the classifier feature from record 365. So the platform can classify records according to a given ontology or a filing plan. So what we have some project documentation coming from us, from our team, from the archive. So with the project description, platform high-level description that we gather from the survey we started with, a full log data set of the records that we give to the organization, to the company, the taxonomy, the acronyms, security classification lists, and then we, of course, have organizational policies available. While Record Point was able to provide us with the model training records log, those logs also arranged by series, by language, and then the first and second model outputs and performance log. Record Point also drafted a model performance report. So we have several system logs coming from this project. And next, please. So in this table instead is a tentative mapping between Maria's table, what she has just shown to you, and what is available from the case study. So use the color coding to kind of give a kind of immediate understanding. So we have a lot of documentation regarding the identification and preparation of the data set and the planning, because is what is in our control. So it's the data that we gave to them. And also on the executing phase, we have, again, we have all those logs that I just mentioned, that has to do with the train and the evaluation of the AI model. So are those greens that you can see in the very middle. We have much less on the AI model production, on the implementation, and on the monitoring of the operations. So next, please. So a couple of considerations here about how to do this documentation again. So it's really relevant to have well documented the data set biases and limitations. So it's good that we have a lot of greens in the first column, and also is very relevant to documenting the parameters for the decision making. So the training of the AI and those kind of outputs. When this has to be done. So what we are trying to do here is ex post operation. So we didn't plan to do this from the very beginning. So we are kind of trying to collect information where it was not supposed to be created. So yeah, it's a bit of a tentative, and there are a lot of gaps. There are a lot of question marks. Of course, this documentation should be gathered from the very beginning. Should take place at the various stages of the life cycle, as Maria has shown. Yeah, and at the same time, we have to be aware about how realistic this can be, because again, as I said, when we are talking about Microsoft tools, there's not so much we can do. And yeah, and that's it. So, and this is where we are right now. And this concludes my presentation. And yeah, happy to help to hear your comments and any suggestion that you might have.